Nio has broken out of this flag and pole structure, closing at 658 today, guys. Very monstrous day for Nio, engulfing the last 3 days of price action. Really showing that buyers are continuing to win these little fights here, guys, as we remain in this overall uptrend, breaking out of that very important major long-term resistance. So today we're going to be analyzing if we should be expecting a break of 683 and continuation to the upside, testing that 770, that being the top of this descending triangle formation, or if sellers are going to finally find their movement and this is a false breakout. So starting on the weekly time frame, guys, the main thing on the channel that we are looking at on Nio are these descending triangle patterns leading to this breakout here. So this first one, we see this descending triangle get formed a little bit higher than 338 being the floor. And then from that breakout, guys, we do see a very nice movement, being around 100% movement to the upside, but does lead to a larger, longer-term descending triangle, which we do find the floor of 338. And within that long-term descending triangle, we see a smaller triangle-like pattern where we break out of that, and then we break out of this long-term one, stemming at 770. And we get some very nice continuation. We do get held up a little bit between that 446 and that 520. We do bounce around, form a kind of flag and pull-like structure, but we do end up breaking out of that. Led to a very nice move to the upside continuation. Then we found ourselves in another bit of a flag and pull like structure where we are looking for that break, guys. We did get that break today. Question is, are we going to continue it to the upside? Looking very good here, guys. We are very bullish on Nio. Nio has proven itself time and time again that the buyers are in that ultimate control of the stock. And our price targets on the channel are 770, retesting the high of this long-term triangle, with our medium-term price target being 926 and our longer-term price target being 1246, which we could be seeing a very volatile move, guys, stemming off this break of structure if Nio can keep trending in the fashion that it has been recently. All right, guys, on the daily time chart, we do see that break today. So we get in a bit of a flag and pull like structure. We see an obvious pennant get formed. So we do see a longer term kind of chop range here between that 446 and that 520, guys, that being the ceiling. That's after we break out of this long-term descending triangle. So we do get that move to the upside. And then we do chop within this pennant for a bit of time, guys. We do see that the buyers and sellers are having a bit of back and forth going on here. Buyers push to the ceiling, sellers push to the floor, back and forth, but we do tighten up. You see sellers try to make their move to the downside, breaking that support. That's where buyers step right in with a green wide bar, pushing us to the top resistance level and breaking that level, which leads us to a continued breakout as we get that first initial breakout here to the upside, guys, and we do hit that level around 683. That's where we form another bit of a pennant here, and today we do see that break of structure, right, meeting up with this resistance and the support. And we see buyers in a very nice fashion breaking that resistance, should be heading to the upside, guys, where we would be testing that 683 once again and continuing possibly in a very volatile move, especially if we can see volume start to surge in here again to that 770 move. Around that 770 being where you could be seeing a little bit of price action where we'd be chopping around a bit. But I think this is a break we did need to finally get that volatile move back up to that 770, guys. We have continued to win these battles. We've broken out of this resistance, as well as this smaller triangle resistance, and now we've broken out of this pennant here. After we were battling back and forth for quite a bit of time, now we've broken out of this smaller pennant in a quicker manner, right? Watch for the buyers to continue to the upside. So always could be a scenario where we do see a little bit of rejection at the top here, and we kind of continue to chop around for a bit, possibly make a larger pennant-like structure. It's always a possibility, but we do look very good here, guys. The buyers have been dominant and looking like we are breaking through pretty prematurely. So as long as buyer pressure is on point and volume can keep flushing in, guys, look for that 770 to get tested within the next few weeks of price action, maybe even sooner if we can really stem off this volatile move and break of structure. But now if we do see sellers give us a little bit of trouble here, guys, watch for that pennant to possibly widen up, creating a longer term type of pennant structure, kind of like we saw right here before getting that actual break. But looking very good here, guys. Great price action to see. And if we're trending a little bit further back, this is where we see a lot of volatility. So stemming off that 770 and around that 100% move after that first initial descending triangle, guys, we see a big descending motion. So we do see a bit of chop between those levels of 446 and 520, roughly, knocked all the way down to that $3 level where we form a bit of a different triangle-like pattern, right? We meet up with this newfound resistance stemming off these levels, and those attempts out of that long-term resistance, and that leads us to this resistance and this support level here, that ground being 338. And instead of being super volatile, we see that that volatility calms down over time, and we get the tightest price action we have seen on Nio in an extremely long time. This is very tight price action, given what we're used to seeing. And then from that energy building phase where somebody has to win, we're meeting up with this resistance and the support level here, we're getting super, super tight. So where you see that break, and then the following day breaking that long-term resistance and continuing in that movement. Sellers don't have much of an answer. You see a little bit back and forth before continuing to the upside, but buyers in that ultimate control. But we do have some harsher resistance at 520. So where you see that chop range pennant break, and now we're getting another pennant structure. looking for the break and test of 770. All right, guys, now on the hourly chart, we see this pennant get formed, this newer pennant right up here. We see that $6 level hold up as some nice support. So we break this zone, creating this support zone that we see right here, lead us to a gap up movement to the upside, finding that 683 as resistance. And then that's where we form the pennant. So we're chopping a little bit back and forth. We get tight, tight, tight. So let's try to make their move to the downside, but that triggers once again a buyer move to the upside and continuation breaking that resistance. Very reminiscent from what we saw in that initial pennant, right? We're back and forth, chop, chop, chopping. So let's try to make their move to the downside. Buyers get in with an answer, a gap up and continuation to the upside, and then that ultimate break with a very volatile move. So looking good here to the upside, guys. I think that we do get that test at 683, and we start heading to that 770. Like I said, anything's possible. These sellers could catch us right around that top there. Kind of find a little bit of rejection, create a bit of a wider pennant, but looking good here, guys. We're looking to the upside. We are bullish. So that's all I got for you guys today on Nio. Our price targets are 770 in the short term, around that $9 level in the medium term. In the long term, we're looking towards that $12 to $15 range. Now, if you guys enjoyed and want to see more price predictions, make sure to like and subscribe. Be patient with this one, guys. Looking bullish here. As always, trade smart. I'll see you all in the next one.